Due to the limitations set by the laws of physics, the top speed parameter is not the most important one for a helicopter, and it is being sidelined by such technical characteristics as maneuverability, cruising velocity, payload capacity, and range. However, attempts to bend these restrictions and develop ever faster models is a never-ending process, and today we have some extraordinarily quick machines crossing the skies. In this episode, we gathered the best representatives of speedy helicopters and all the important specifications about them. So if you want to learn more about these VTOL aircraft, subscribe to Automotive Territory and enjoy your flight. SIKORSKY X2. The X2 experimental high-speed compound helicopter by SIKORSKY flew for the first time in 2008. It is an already retired aircraft that serves as the platform for the development of Sikorsky S-97 Raider and SB-1 Defiant. The cost of the project was evaluated at $50 million and proved that a coaxial helicopter with auxiliary propulsion can reach superior speeds. The power plant of the X2 is a T800 LHT-801 turboshaft that produces 1800 horsepower, with most of the might for the forward flight sent to the pusher propeller rather than the rotor. Among the achievements that Sikorsky X2 has in its resume is the speed of 260 knots, which was reached by the test pilot Kevin Bradenbach. After completing just 23 flights, which were considered revolutionary back in the day, this helicopter was grounded and is now on display in Chantilly, Virginia. Augusta Westland AW609. The development of AW609 began in 1996 as a partnership between Boeing and Bell Helicopters, but was spawned by constant delays and limited funding. After just 2 years into construction, the former pulled out of the project to be replaced by the Italian Leonardo, formerly known as Augusta Westland. Initially planned for military purposes, the tiltrotor's prospects were reconsidered and are now aimed at civil aviation, in particular VIP customers and offshore drilling sites. Even though the looks of the AW609 are very similar to the military-oriented V-22 Osprey, in reality, the two share very few components. Unlike the Bell aircraft, it is comfort-oriented and has a soundproof pressurized cabin of a private jet with standard 9 or 6 to 7 VIP passenger layouts. The 609 is powered by a pair of Pratt & Whitney Canada turboshaft engines, each driving a 3-bladed proto-rotor, reaching the speed of 275 knots. EUROCOPTER X-Cube. Known at the time as the EUROCOPTER Group, the Airbus's helicopter development division built this hybrid aircraft to test high-speed flying at 220 knots. The prototype is based on the company's AS-365 Dolphin helicopter that received an upgraded 5-blade main rotor plus 2 fixed-span wings fitted with propellers. To power this system, 2 turboshaft engines from Rolls-Royce Turbomeca are installed, delivering 2,270 horses each. In 2010, the X-Cube completed its first flight, and in 2011 was able to speed up to 232 knots. 2 years later, after locking over 55 hours in the air and receiving a new drag-reducing rotor head fairing, it set an unofficial helicopter speed record of 255 knots in a level flight. Today, the X-Cube is no longer cruising the skies, but instead can be seen on display in France's National Air and Space Museum. AIRBUS H160. This helicopter was previously designed as X4 and is currently marketed as the successor of the Airbus's existing model, EUROCOPTER AS-365 Dolphin. The H160 has full composite airframe, which allows it to show the same performance as the rivals, while being 1 ton lighter and ensuring up to 20% lower operation costs. This rotorcraft is also the first to feature the Blue Edge 5-bladed main rotor. It incorporates a double-swept shape that reduces noise generation of blade vortex interactions, effectively decreasing the noise and raising the payload capacity. The power plant, represented by dual Turbomeca Arano turboshaft engines, is good for 175 knots of maximum speed and 3,800 pounds of payload capacity. This aircraft flew for the first time in 2015, and the deliveries to the buyers are scheduled for 2019, with planned production of 50 units per year. Sikorsky Boeing SB-1 Defiant. Usually simply referred to as the SB-1, This aircraft is the first model created in cooperation between Sikorsky Aircraft and Boeing within the United States Army's program Future Vertical Lift. The final design is a compound helicopter with rigid counter-rotating coaxial main rotors and a pusher propeller, which are powered by the Lycoming T55 turboshaft engine. However, the future models should be equipped with the all-new Future Affordable Turbine engine, or simply the FATE. The use of this setup allows to increase the top speed and operation radius by at least 50%, reaching 229 nautical miles, and the top speed should exceed 250 knots. After multiple delays, the Defiant flew for the first time in March 2019. The preliminary testing proves it to be quick and nimble, with fast acceleration and deceleration, fast side-to-side movement, and the capability to hover with the tail up and nose down. Bell V-280 Valor. Developed as a part of the Future Vertical Lift plan that includes the creation of 5 differently sized military helicopters for the US Armed Forces, the new V-280 Valor was built by Bell Helicopter and Lockheed Martin. It aims to replace the legendary Sikorsky UH-60 Blackhawk in service, as well as compete with the existing V-22 Osprey tiltrotor aircraft. The major design improvements of the model is that the engines remain in place while the rotors and driveshafts tilt. Moreover, since the driveshaft runs through the straight wing, both prop rotors could be driven by a single engine in the event of engine loss. Though the V-280 was engineered to reach a target speed of 280 knots, it has already surpassed this mark, attaining a 300-knot speed during the test flight in March 2019. By the way, just wanted to ask your opinion, what helicopter from the video could compete for the title of the best flying machine of today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep going. Sikorsky HH-60W. Also known as the Combat Rescue Helicopter, the all-new Sikorsky HH-60W has completed its maiden flight in May 2019. It is based on the already struggling HH-60G Pavehawk, which has been in operation for almost 4 decades. The CHR integrates a crash-worthy and damage-tolerant airframe, has increased fuel capacity, which ensures 195 nautical miles of combat radius, and with more interior space, it will be able to accommodate 2 pilots, 2 gunners, 2 paramedics, and 2 litters for medical patients or injured service members. The powerplant of the HH-60W will integrate 2 General Electric T700GE 701D turboshaft engines, each developing a maximum continuous power of 1,716 HP with the estimated top speed close to 200 knots. The development project was funded by the US Air Force under a $1.2 billion contract, and if the Sikorsky HH-60W successfully passes the evaluation process, 112 units will be ordered. Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey. You must have seen this unique aircraft in multiple blockbuster movies like Transformers and the latest Godzilla installments. The reason why it is loved by Hollywood so much is the fact that it is one of the first tiltrotor design aircraft which have vertical takeoff and landing and high-speed flight capabilities. In the real world, the Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey has been a multi-mission asset for the US Marine Corps, Air Force, and Navy since 2007. This tiltrotor is powered by 2 Rolls-Royce T406 turboshaft engines that produce 6,150 horsepower each. In the turboprop mode, the maximum speed reaches 275 knots at sea level and 305 at 15,000 feet. It is worth noting that the V-22's Osprey's route on becoming an irreplaceable unit for the military has been stalled by unimaginably high costs of development, production, and maintenance, combined with poor reliability scores. Lockheed Martin S-97 Raider. This high-speed scout and attack compound helicopter is based on the Advancing Blade concept and is planned to be offered to the United States Army's Armed Aerial Scout program, along with other possible uses. The design of the aircraft incorporates variable speed rigid coaxial main rotors and a variable pitch pusher propeller. It is equipped with a fly-by-wire control and dynamic anti-vibration actuators to cancel out shaking. At the moment, the helicopter is powered by a single General Electric YT706 turboshaft. However, a more powerful engine developed under the improved turbine engine program is expected to become available. The performance goals of this Lockheed Martin are 240 knots maximum speed, 308 nautical miles range, and turning capability at 3 times the force of gravity. Interestingly, even though the S-87 Raider has a side-by-side cockpit designed for 2 pilots, it will be capable of flying with only 1 pilot or even autonomously while carrying up to 6 passengers. Airbus AS365 and 3+. This medium-sized twin-engine helicopter is a member of Airbus's Dolphin range that has been in operation since 1975. The high-performance N3 model, however, was developed specifically for operating at maximum speeds of 165 knots in high-humidity hot climate, and it began deliveries in 1998. The aircraft received 2 Safran Ariel 2C engines with full authority digital electronics, delivering 838 horsepower each. To reduce the noise signature and maximize flight safety, it was also equipped with a 10-blade Fenestron tail rotor system and Starflex rotor head. After 11 years in production, in 2009 the upgraded N3+ model was unveiled, featuring a new avionics system, including a company-developed 4-axis autopilot. The system is designed to reduce crew workload and facilitate search and rescue operations. For now, the N3+ remains in active service, though eventually it is planned to be phased out in favor of the new Airbus H160. AIRBUS Racer. Rapid and cost-effective rotorcraft, or simply Racer, is a direct offspring of the EUROCOPTER X-Cube that is aimed to complete its first flight in 2020. Developed under the Airbus Clean Sky program, the aircraft is expected to deliver a 15% decrease in fuel consumption and a 50% increase in cruising speed when compared to a traditional helicopter. To generate more thrust, it has 2 lateral pusher rotors in addition to the main one. The Racer is propelled by a pair of Safran Anato engines chosen due to their compactness and exceptional power. To make the high-speed flying easier, the aircraft also has a lightweight hybrid metallic composite frame and a unique box-wing design. It will be optimized to fly at 215 knots cruising speed and is expected to reach 255 knots top speed as its predecessor. Moreover, it will have an engine pause function, allowing the crew to shut off one of the engines in cruise and to achieve better fuel efficiency or to deal with power fails. When it comes to speed, a pure helicopter design has its limitations set at approximately 250 knots, so the presented models might end up being the fastest ever. Though I might be wrong, and we will see even faster ones in the nearest future. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below, watch the videos suggested on the screen, leave a like, and may the torque be with you!